What is up, my beautiful people? We are finally back. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how we've been able to pull out $120,000 last month, and this month currently up $71,000, guys. I'm going to be recapping the week, especially after that major drop from Mr. Trump and the tariffs that kind of been coming in back to back to back. The market conditions have changed, but we have still been able to be successful during these conditions. I'm going to show you exactly how we've been able to do that, recap the whole week, and help you prepare at the end of the video for the next coming couple days, next coming couple weeks while we deal with this whole tariff shindig we got going on. So far, we've taken 2 trades this week, 1 dub and 1 L, up $11,000 for this week so far. And we have about, a day and a full week of trading left over to hopefully try to hit that 6-figure mark today, guys. But every single trade we do take within TradeZella, or every single trade you see me post, is all done live inside the mentorship group. We had a free live session today. I actually did really, really well. Didn't take a trade today, but we actually learned a lot of lessons, gave out. But if y'all want to see me trade live every single day, I'll post a link down below for my mentorship. We just had 5 students leave the group, unfortunately. That is because they're profitable. They don't need me anymore. So my job with them is done. So we're taking 5 new students. So make sure when you're watching this video, you apply as fast as you can because those spots do fill up, and we only let people in as people graduate and so on and so forth, guys. But look at this, right? First thing to see, major tariff news, shitty fucking action, pretty much. A long time. People have been blowing their accounts. People have been losing. What I've been doing, smaller size, less trades, patient, waiting for the A+ setups, right? One of the big benefits of the live sessions, in my opinion, is actually watching us wait and stay patient and plan for hours and hours and hours. Watch the market for another couple hours and not act. Just sit on our hands and wait, right? That is an underrated superpower that we have and why we've been able to stay alive for a very, very long time. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and recap the week first. So the first trade we took here was on Monday. I believe Monday was when was it? The 20th right here. We caught the longs, breakout here for longs. Now, taking a look at something here, every single day we will post my pre-market plan for my students to watch. And basically everything we do is planned. Every single thing we do is planned. We don't do anything that isn't planned because it's stupid. Going to the market without a plan is like literally trying to get absolutely destroyed, right? It doesn't work. It's dumb. You're not going to be successful. You're going to struggle. I think, more news just dropped on these tariff and Russia shit, so the market's been crashing. But basically what we played was long, see us break the 6750s for a move into 6770s, right? So looking at the chart of ES here, we had a break of the 6750s for a move into 6770s. Now those levels were all whacking crazy because of the recent spike in volatility we've been having from Mr. Trumpy. But waited for a break of the 6750s, which came from, let's see, so it was here, 6750s, came from this level right here, right? This supply. So what I did was I played a break retest of supply, right? Which is something I love to do. Looking at this chart right here, right, we had an aggressive break above the 50s, aggressive close, retested that broken supply, longs all the way up. Actually was trailing my stop, so we did go all the way up to the 70s, even further past that, but I was trailing my stop, and then we took a banger trade. Here's like $17,000. Took this shit live with the group. A lot of people laid off this trade, and as you can tell, we got a great environment, man. Great culture. Dub spams in the chat whenever we hit these bangers, man. A lot of people have been going in, so very, very excited about that. The culture is the important part, man. We're all trying to make friends, make sure we don't trade in the lonesome, because trading is very, 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 very boring. But we had that break retest. Now, what was the entry trigger? Obviously, the invalidation. We were trailing our stop. First invalidation was at 45. We're looking at that on the order flow as well. And why did we enter this trade, right? We've been using a similar entry trigger for a very, very long time. But coming back into here, right? We knew above the 50s, there's nothing stopping us to get into the 70s. We knew we wanted a long above the 50s. But first off, we need confirmation, right? First thing we see is an aggressive move from the buyers, right? Super big aggressive buy offers, filling past sell offers, holding above, close above the 50s, right? Then we need invalidation. The market came back down, right? We see exhaustion from sellers, which is basically where I want to put my stop loss. We see a level where sellers are getting exhausted, not showing up. We want to put our stop loss underneath that level, because if sellers do pick up and make a new lower bid, my thesis of the market being long at that breakout is invalid. So identify the sell side exhaustion, identify sellers getting weaker as we retested my supply. Then all we had to do is wait for a buyer, right, to fill an aggressive buyer, fill a passive sell offer and make a bid above. Whenever I see that happen, I automatically press the buy button, put my stop loss underneath where we had exhaustion, and I obviously trailed it out. Then went and targeted the liquidity we had sitting at the 75s. Obviously, we didn't take it all the way. We took about 17-ish points off of this, I think. But again, important here, right? We get the aggressive break. weakness from sellers off the retest, and then buyers taking back control right after we see exhaustion as an entry trigger. Very simple, very common. We do this every single time. Now, something that to watch out for when the market was ranging like this, right? I was okay with taking both sides. There's not a clear structure here, right? Even though we're close to all-time high. Either we see the opposite, where we don't see buyers be aggressive and break through. We see buyers get absorbed or exhausted. Then we go for a short off the top of supply, or we wait for supply to be broken with clear signs of volume telling us buyers are being aggressive. Buyers are actually filling these offers and closing above. A weak retest for long into the next liquidity level, next liquidity pool, which was these 70s and 80s. So that was trade number one. Next day, we come back in and we actually hit a loss. Next day, there was no trades. It was a pretty choppy session. And that day after that, we hit a loss basically yesterday. So choppy session this day, no trade taken. Next day, still choppy, but we tried out longs. Why did we try out longs, right? Same thing, part of the pre-market plan. If you look here, pre-market, we tried out longs. Let me go ahead and pull it up on this so we see exactly what we did. So right here, we tried long. So basically, before the open, right here, right around 8 a.m. on the, when is this, the 22nd? So the 22nd coming in right here, right? Choppy session, 22nd coming in around 8 a.m. before the market opened, right? We had a demand made pre-market, which was this level right here from the 70s, right here, right? From the 70s to the basically 65. So open this up right here, 70s. Basically, when we tap into the 70s right here, basically a pre-market demand we made. So we tap back into that pre-market demand. I was looking for longs, basically playing this range. We didn't find a level where the market's bounced off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we were playing a range. We saw buyer step up again. We were betting on this being a lower high for a move back up to the top of the range, take liquidity out or back into supply level. That was my plan. It's almost the same thing we did the previous day, but obviously it was a breakout. This is a kind of a continuation off a trend. So I was playing the trend. I was playing the consolidation. I was playing the balance range from top to bottom, something I always do. Again, not every trade works out, right? And the important part is I lost this trade, right? I lost about 6 points. The trade I won was like well over 17 points. I don't remember what the full TP was. I think it was around 17, but that's way better, almost a 3-to-1, right? Which is why, I mean, just look at the numbers. Or look at the numbers. We're doing it better than a 3-to-1 trade, right? We make 17K, lose 6K, right? Times that by 3, just simple math, right? Risk management is very, 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 very key. But same thing, right? Let's take a look and check out the entry trigger for this specific setup. The same exact thing. Let's see if I try to mark these all down for you. I think it's this one right here. Okay. So what do we have, right? We pushed into that demand level, exhaustion from sellers, broke out back above, see aggressive buyers taking control, made a new invalidation level, meaning we see sellers continuously get exhausted around these 70s. Remember the key level 70s from the pre-market plan we just showed you? Continuously get exhausted. So we know invalidation level here, we know if we're in long, our long thesis will be invalid if we go underneath the exhaustion from sellers. We do this every single time. And then we see a big buyer here fill a passive offer, but, right, and this is kind of where we got choked out. The offers above the big buyer were actually smaller. We got exhaustion from buyers. So I didn't get in right away. I waited for us to see more aggressive offers above that first fill, which we did see right here. So I automatically pressed that buy button, put my stop loss down here, about 6 points, and obviously looking to target resting liquidity up here for about 10-ish, 15 points. Get stopped out. Trump comes in. Tariffs come in again. Market goes fucking crazy. Used to it, so I walk away, right? And there was a good setup here after I walked away, but I walked away before it happened. So basically, I decided after I took that loss, market's super shit, market's super choppy, I'm just going to walk away. Right as soon as I walk away, we get crazy volume spike, crazy moves. I'm like, all right, fuck. But what I like to do, and this is something I think that keeps me profitable, guys, is when I tell myself I'm going to do something, I do it. So if I tell myself, okay, I'm going to walk away, and the market gives me a great opportunity afterwards, I'm not going to take it because I will be lying to myself. I'll be breaking my own rules I give myself. So if I tell myself, Elder, I'm done today, I'm going to stick with my word. I'm going to stick with what I say. All I have is my word. So kind of helps you reinforce bad habits, because if you can't trust yourself, if you don't do what you're telling yourself you're going to do, you're going to end up fucking up, guys. You're going to end up doing the cycle of revenge trading, cycle of sizing up, not following your rules, which is the most important part. So when I tell myself I'm going to walk away, I'm never going to come back to the market and take a trade, because that'll be me lying to myself. There's a quick little tip there I can give you guys. Now, to prepare for the rest of the week we have going on here. So obviously, we're still looking pretty crazy, right? There's still random spikes in volatility. There's still random spikes in volume due to this heavy uncertainty from tariff conflicts. Now we have this shit with Russia. Trump has literally thrown a fucking bomb, into the market. And it's been crazy this year. And you can never expect trading to be linear, guys. As long as you're not in it alone, it's going to give you the best chance of winning. I'll leave a link down below to my free Discord community where sometimes you can come, we'll do free sessions, we'll do giveaways. But the most important part is the community, the people you're talking to on a daily basis, to not let yourself drive yourself crazy. Trading's pretty boring. It's pretty lonely. So make sure you surround yourself with a group of great people who have the same mindset, same goal as you. And trust me, you'll get a lot further. Now, without further ado, let's talk about how we can go about reading this. So volume profile is something that I use a lot. So we had this little bit of a shitty range, right? Had this shitty range we were in for a while, broke out of that range with shit volume on the breakout, sold back into it with aggressive volume, right? And now we're pushing back up above it. So it's a condition right now that I would say is conflicting. I'll tell you what's conflicting soon, but it's okay to not know what's going on. A lot of times I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know what the fuck the tape is showing me. I'm confused. Structure is confusing. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do anything. If I don't know what's going on, why would I do anything? So what's not okay is to know what's going on or to not know what's going on, but act on it like you do know. That's how you end up fucking yourself, right? We don't want to fuck ourselves. We want to have the best possibility of winning, best possibility of actually making money. Like in simple terms, let me just explain it to you, this guy, right? Why we follow the trend. The market is much more probable to sit in a trend than it is to actually break out of the trend. So as a quick example on what I mean, right? This is just a mess because obviously what Trump said. But if you just take into account, right, the time period where the market sits in a trend versus the time period where we're breaking a trend, right? On average, it's going to be much more time spent continuing a trend than it is going to be breaking a trend. So if we take every single trade with the trend, we're giving ourselves a much better chance of winning because the market is more probable to continue the trend because the average amount of time the market's in a trend versus changing trends is much higher. Now, if that was a tongue twister and confusing, let me know. I'll try to break it down more important. If I want a whole video on that, I can do that as well. But watching what we got right now. Weak volume push where most of the volume is stacked above the consolidation. Heavy selling pressure coming back in. Bearish market, choppy market, back to bullish, made a new low, incredibly uncertain. So the best thing to do, guys, is be very patient and to size down. We have 4-hour supply made right here. So what I would look to do is if we break above 4-hour supply, I will look for an aggressive close. I want to see volume, good delta, pass, aggressive sellers in fucking control. Then I want to see a retest of that level for longs. Longs to where? Basically to pre-market or all-time highs. Now, if we break all-time highs, where do we target? I get this question all the time. Where's resting liquidity? All-time highs above the 800s, above the 812s. Do we have any resting liquidity above there? Let's see. So 812s is all-time high. If I was going long after 812s, any long time frame resting liquidity, yep, right here. We have some at the 840s. That's just kind of how I target above all-time highs. When price has never been somewhere, you can't really target anything because you don't know what's going to happen at these levels. So the best thing to do is either use Fibonacci extension levels, which I don't really use, or liquidity, real liquidity on Bookmap. Now, long time frame. I don't mean when I'm talking about long time frame, I'm talking about these offers that have been in the market for days, months, right? Not offers that get just slowly bid in and out of the market. Like, you get these algos playing games. Not those offers that have been in the market for a very long period of time are offers that I will look to use as take profit levels. Now, we hold supply here, right? I would wait for us to actually have an aggressive sell-off first, retest, and then go for shorts. We have our next key level right here, right? Next 4-hour supply. Now, something I like to do when the market's crazy, focus on the bigger time frame, crazier, stronger levels. That's what I like to do. Now, off of here, if you don't see buy absorption, right? If you don't see, if you do see buy side absorption, I'll go to that pace first. If you see, because we're kind of following a bullish trend now, right? If you come back into this 4-hour level, I would look to see sell side absorption, look to see actually sellers getting exhausted, dying out, and then for an entry long into a new high. If you see the opposite at this key level, right? The 6720s, what we'd look to do here, let me just clean this out so it looks a little bit prettier here for you guys. But if we do get a nice buy side absorption here, we don't see buyers stepped up. If we see sellers be super aggressive, fill passive buy offers and actually hold below price, we'll look for a break, retest for a move down, targeting these lows. Pretty simple. Targeting liquidity. Go for liquidity for liquidity. So supply and demand levels are. There are literally basic liquidity, guys. And that's what I'm going to be doing, right? So recapping this week, recapping the 2 trades we took out of 4 trading days. We're slow, we're patient, we're not taking too many trades. The market right now is I'm not super certain because of all the macro factors we have currently going on. But hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure if you want to join the mentorship and watch me trade live every single day, get a free funded account, get one-on-one lessons with me, one-on-one lessons with all the coaches, weekly live classes, weekly trade reviews, and honestly a great community, a great culture. Make sure you apply down below fast. Those spots fill up and they don't come about super often, but the link is still in the description. That means spots are still open. So if you see the link, click on it, apply, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care and good luck.